Okay, so you are about to see Senator Andy Kim obliterate Trump's FCC chairman Brendan Carr to his face, because he pulls out the receipts on the plan to weaponize the media, and Carr just freezes. He sits there, completely unable to answer the most basic question about his own job. Frankly, it is terrifying to watch a public official crumble like this under the slightest bit of pressure. This hearing exposes the absolute rot at the center of this administration's strategy to control what you see and hear. Let's watch this tense exchange from a Senate Commerce Committee hearing, and I'll give you my take at the end.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you to the three of you for coming out here. Chairman Carr, I guess I just wanted to start with you. I was confused after hearing your response to one of my colleagues about the status of the FCC. I want to read you a quote here and see if you agree with it. Congress long ago determined that the FCC an independent expert agency. Is that correct or not?
Senator, there's been sort of a sea change in sort of the law in the approach since I think I wrote that sentence, I'm assuming, since you gave it to me.
You said it in front of Congress.
Right. The view has been that the Communications Act was passed in 1934, 1 year before Humphrey's executor, and so Congress did not include in the Communications Act for-cause removal of FCC commissioners. So I can be fired by the president for no reason or any reason at all. The theory had been that courts would read for-cause removal into the statute, and that was the basis for that viewpoint. I think now it's clear that that's not the case. And so formally speaking, the FCC isn't independent because we don't have that key piece, which is for-cause removal protection.
So when you're talking about all power vesting in the president, I mean, I just want to read this a little more because you're saying not just that it is an independent agency, but you're saying that Congress did not want these technical decisions to be made in a haphazard manner or based on misinformation or short-term political interest. You specifically said it placed the authority outside of the executive branch for a reason. So you were not just stating what was the law at the time. You were stating the benefit that comes with the independence. So I guess I'm just trying to get a sense from you. If you don't think that the FCC is independent, then is President Trump your boss?
President Trump has designated me as chairman of the FCC. I think it comes as no surprise that I'm aligned with President Trump on policy. I think that's why he designated me as chairman. But ultimately,
do you consider him your boss?
Ultimately, well, President Trump designated me as chairman. I can be fired by the president. The president is the head of the executive branch. The decisions of the commission.
So he's your boss.
Look, the decisions of the commission are going to be based on a vote of the three of us right here. So there are some things that are different about that. And our decisions are going to be based on the facts and the law and the record.
You swore an oath when you came into your job, right? Does the oath have the word president in it?
Senator, again, I'm not tracking this line. What I'm saying is every decision
Do you remember the oath that you took?
Yeah.
You swear an oath to protect what?
Sir, every single decision
What is it that you're protecting?
In this job, we're based on the facts,
Constitution
the law,
of the United
and the
States.
record,
I'm just listen, this is not
consistent
a
with
test
the Constitution.
here. I'm just trying to get a sense of how you're trying to operate here. So I guess I'd just like to be a little bit more direct here. Have you ever had a conversation with the president or senior administration officials about using the FCC to go after critics?
Well, first of all, Senator, I don't get into the specifics of conversations that I have with the president.
Let me reframe it then. Would it be appropriate for the president or senior administration officials to give you direction to pressure media companies?
Look, Senator, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. What I can tell you, again, is decisions by the commission.
The easy answer is no.
The decision of
it's not a hypothetical. It's literally just trying to determine whether or not you are understanding your job belonging to the American people. Trump is not your boss. So the American people are your boss.
The basis
and here's just one example I want to give on this.
The basis for the commission decisions are going to be based on a vote of the three of us.
Let me finish my comment here, okay? The reason I raise this is because whether or not you had that conversation in the Oval Office or on a phone call, what we do is we see it all out in front. On August 24th, Trump wrote, ABC and NBC fake news. They are simply an arm of the Democratic Party and should, accordingly to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful and an actual threat to our democracy. So this is not hypothetical, like you said. He did intentionally try to pressure you and direct you to be able to use your power in the FCC against media companies that he thought were biased against him. So that's why I just want to say, this is not hypothetical. This is not theoretical. This is real. And I was trying to get a sense of whether or not you thought this behavior was appropriate or not. And your failure to be able to directly dictate a line and show that there's integrity in this process concerns me, because before the FCC comes all of these decisions. All of these decisions. And when you cannot tell me directly that Trump is not your boss, that the American people are your boss, I do not trust you that you can make these decisions with the independent mind that is needed and directed by Congress. And with that, I'll yield back,
When we make
Chairman.
decisions at the commission, it's a vote among the three of us. It's a product of the three of our votes, and we all can suggest edits and change items, and you can see for yourself the bases in reasoning for it.
So would it
That's
be
subject to
appropriate
judicial
then
scrutiny.
for the president to try and remove and replace any commissioner because he disagrees with the decisions made by that commission?
The president can remove any member of the commission for any reason or no reason
I
at
know
all.
that, but do you think that's appropriate?
It's up to the president to decide.
Okay, well then we got your answer. With that, I'll yield back.
Thank you.
I mean, look, are we really supposed to buy this? Are we really supposed to sit here and accept this charade? It is a total betrayal of the public trust. You have a guy who literally wrote the words, he wrote them down, that the agency is independent. And now that it's politically convenient, now that he needs to, kiss the ring, suddenly the law has changed. Suddenly the rules don't apply. It's just gaslighting, plain and simple. It is gaslighting on a federal level. And the hesitation, did you see that? It's painful. You ask a simple question, is the president your boss? And he refuses to say no. He simply cannot bring himself to say that he serves the Constitution or the American people. He's dancing around it, doing this verbal gymnastics routine to avoid admitting the absolute truth. He is there to serve one man alone. It's just, how do you have no shame? How do you sit in that chair, take that oath, and then act like a subsidiary of the Trump organization? It's pathetic. It really is. Because the implications here, they are real. They are immediate. He calls them hypotheticals, but that is false. This is about whether the government can shut down news stations because they hurt the president's feelings. That is what is at stake here. And he knows it. That's the worst part. He knows exactly what the game is. You can see it in his eyes when the receipts get pulled out, when that quote is read about revoking licenses, about punishing dissent. He stays silent. He refuses to denounce it. He just hides. He hides behind process. He hides behind voting mechanics. It is the definition of moral cowardice. I mean, think about it. Just think about it for a second. If you are truly independent, if you truly care about the First Amendment, wouldn't you jump at the chance? Wouldn't you demand the opportunity to say, the president cannot order me to silence his critics? Of course you would. Anyone with a spine would. But he doesn't. He won't. And that silence screams louder than anything else in that room. It's kind of chilling, because he's basically admitting that if the order comes down, if the demand comes from the top to strip a license from NBC or ABC, he will let it happen. He's telling us right to our faces that the safeguards are gone. They have vanished. And he's just okay with it. He's fine with being a rubber stamp for authoritarianism. And the way he tries to spin it, oh, the courts changed the view. No, the requirement stands that you must be an expert agency. Instead, he behaves like a political hitman. It's a weak, transparent excuse to justify selling out your own integrity. He is trading his reputation for what? For a pat on the head? This is what happens when you put loyalty over competence. You get people they are fundamentally incapable of defending the institutions they lead. They are hollowed out. They are just empty suits waiting for instructions. It is embarrassing for him, but worse. It is dangerous for every single one of us who relies on a free press. Honestly, it makes you wonder what else. If they are willing to bend the knee on the basic concept of independence, what else are they going to cave on? Net neutrality, consumer protection, it's all up for grabs now. Because once you admit the president is your boss in an independent agency, the game is over. The independence is a myth. So let's be clear about what we just witnessed. We saw something far worse than a bad answer. We saw a confession. We saw a man admit that the firewall between politics and the press, the firewall that protects our democracy, has been burned to the ground. And he's the one holding the match. I want to know what you think. Do you trust this man to protect free speech, or is he just another political operative? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep exposing this hypocrisy. I will catch you guys in the next one.